we have this idea of like your genes equal what your life is going to be. And he realized that when you break it down to specific one, like single cell organisms, they are able to respond to their environment and change. And the ability of a cell to respond to its environment is consciousness. So if you have a single cell organism, its consciousness is limited by the size of the membrane of the cell. And that cell will get bigger to a point where a cell can't get any bigger, and then it's stuck in its consciousness. So we're talking about like the evolution of consciousness. That consciousness can no longer evolve. So the cells need to merge together and form a new organism. So you'll have two cells come together, they merge, and they have a larger surface area. So they have more awareness, basically. They have more ability to react to and respond to their environment. Then the same thing happens. This thing can't get any bigger, so it merges with more. And then you get groups of cells, and you get these really like kind of primitive species that are higher in consciousness than like an amoeba or like any single-celled organism. And over time, those develop into more and more complex organisms that have more and more consciousness. So then you look at like a human or any other animal, like a human, you have different groups of organisms. You have like all these liver cells that make up a liver, and that liver becomes its own entity, but it's a part of a bigger thing. So you have your systems. You have like the nervous system, which is one organism basically, and then you have the lungs and the respiratory system, the blood and the lymph systems, and you have all these systems. All these systems in our body, which are single cells, which are conscious beings that form together to make a bigger, more complex, higher consciousness being, that are all formed together. All these systems then make up the human body, which is a collection of systems that merge together in order to have higher consciousness and be able to better respond to their environment and to like experience the world from a different vantage point of higher awareness. And that's how consciousness evolves. But that, like everything in the universe, is also fractal. So everything is playing out on every level, as big as it gets and as small as it gets. So the smallest single organism is evolving in consciousness at the same time that the entire everything in existence is evolving in consciousness. And that's where like we talk about like the Big Bang. So you have everything in one singularity. So like, and this is like sort of like the prevailing theory in science. I don't know how true it is or not, but you start with everything that exists in a singularity the size of a pea that one day erupts into everything, and it bursts open and emerges, and from that point on, everything has been growing and expanding infinitely, but not just expanding infinitely, but also accelerating infinitely. So if we now have this image of this one small little point that expands infinitely, bigger and bigger, faster and faster forever, that is the evolution of consciousness. It's energy. Speed is energy. Growth is energy. It's as things get bigger, they have more surface area, they're able to better respond to their environment, just like the single cell growing. It's like when you look out in outer space, that is all evolving in consciousness. And this is where another point, like some people might start to get lost when I'm going to say like the Earth, for example, is conscious.
Yes.
The Earth is a conscious being that, just like the human is made up of all these different systems, that systems are all made up of individual things. On the Earth, we have all these individual things that are made into all these different species and all these different habitats and ecological systems. And these ecological systems all are interconnected in order to have a wider consciousness and a growing, expanding consciousness. And as the consciousness of the Earth evolves, the consciousness of all the beings on the Earth need to evolve with it. But also, as the consciousness of the beings evolve, the Earth evolves with them. The consciousness of the Earth evolves with them. The solar system is another example. Like the Earth is conscious and evolving in consciousness because the solar system is evolving in consciousness, and the sun is evolving. So it's all interconnected, and it's all growing and evolving together at the same time.
Everything is everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Everything is everything.